Yeah, how's it going? Today is 9th of March, Saturday, and we are taking a look at the market, what kind of opportunities are available with that. Let's take a look at some of the press releases, right? I had to review so many of those, so I had to put everything on hold, but let's come back to those. I think it might be important, but let's take a look at it. The first one would be over 1 billion budget for renewable energy auction. Let's try to understand what's going on. Government announces largest ever budget for upcoming contracts for different auction rounds, right? Let's try to understand it. That we within this article we're going to be taking a look at three different bullet points. First one, the renewable electricity auction gets larger ever cash pot to support energy security. Okay, I don't know what they're referring to. 80 million, 800 million pledge for offshore wind to ensure Britons remain at the forefront of technology. Okay, budget to boost renewable investment and help UK replace fossil fuels with cheaper, cleaner domestic energy in transition to net zero. So why it's auction? I don't understand it. What's the government in this auction? What we are auctioning? We're auctioning North Sea, that region, North Sea region. That's what's going on. Let's try to understand it. Britain's flagship renewable scheme has received its biggest ever funding boost from government, with over 1 billion. It's over 1 billion for its upcoming auction. The budget for the six contracts for different allocation round, confirming by the Chancellor at the spring budget, single largest scale government's backing to drive further investment into UK's thriving renewable sector, roll out more clean, secure, and affordable energy while helping grow the economy. It's something I can review in a minute, but let's first finish this article. This represents a latest step to deliver a long-term change that the Britain needs. I don't know, it doesn't really, but I don't know, I can read it, but most likely it does not necessarily reflect what's really happening, a long-term change. So we really need to decommission a lot of sites, right? So that's something that's happening in UK. We need to decommission, and those sites would cost a lot of money. While we're decommissioning those and shutting down those, we need to supplement that with potentially companies who can improve electricity or perhaps wind. That would be alternative or renewable sources, right? And again, that would be just a handful of companies who can do it and have positioned themselves just to be a handful of companies who can do it, right? So I don't know why they would refer this as an auction. So everyone needs to reach out to this organization and see for a contract with businesses in order to achieve some of the finance to cover some of the running costs, right? Perhaps. If within this article they're taking a look at wind, right? I don't know if UK is building those or Germany is building those wind power stations. If Germany is building it, let's talk with Germany. Why are we talking with UK? UK is just spending money, and Germany is building those. So might as well talk with Germany in the first place, if that's what they're referring within this article. Otherwise, we're wasting our time here. Let's take a look at perhaps how we can build those, right? Let's take a look at how we can build those and receive some of this finance. Otherwise, we're wasting our time reading this article, right? We can touch on some of the important parts if you might be interested in this market, right? To receive 1 billion from government. They used to make movies about those kind of people who would ask for 1 billion. Now it just becomes a comedy, I would say. So if you would like to receive some of the finance to deliver some of the projects, perhaps that's what they should be taking a look at auction, right? Auction, and then they should improve perhaps 10 businesses from UK who can build those power plants when it comes to renewables. That's what they should be referring with an auction, and who are 10 companies who would like to step forward, take action when it comes to building those. Otherwise, what they're saying. This transaction happened, and 1 billion worth of transaction happened. Okay, okay, well, that's great, right? It's 120 million for establishment technologies such as onshore wind and solar. Okay, 105 million for emerging technologies such as floating offshore wind and or geothermal, including ring, Lancet, 10 million budget for tidal for a second consecutive year. Okay, so that might be okay. This part might be okay. I have seen some of the projects happening not far from. It depends. They're awesome. They're awesome, and as well as 800 million for offshore wind. Perhaps that's in Netherlands as well, not necessarily just Germany. I'll say, right. So perhaps if you're interested into getting into this market, if you're interested, perhaps there's a large sums of money available, right? Why I have mentioned Germany in the first place. I don't think Germany is producing nuclear, right? So it's within interest of Germany, definitely, perhaps other countries as well. So, but Germany in particular, they have large energy demand, right? So there's a lot of pain points within Germany, and nuclear is not an option, from what I understand, for Germany. So they're definitely building these. Definitely, I don't need to Google. I need to I don't need to find anything. Germany somewhere there. I just know it, right? From there, we can perhaps I can touch on some of the points, but most likely let's take a look at auction, what they're referring to, and if there would be open or it would be invitations only. Let's take a look at that. We can progress, right? And since they were taking a look at the budget and they're referring to policy papers, and that was updated 6th of March, right? Very recently, that's 2024. Most likely, they would be referring to the same budget. Not necessarily, unless they need to go back and forward, but most likely that would be the budget. It's something I have reviewed previously, and they're referring to that budget, right? So, who haven't seen the parliamentary hearing within this budget? That's what's really happening, right? And from there, we can take a look at some of the allocation of that budget and where they're going to be looking to invest some of the capital, right? Or government will most likely, right? Let's take a look at this budget for people who are interested. Treasury House published this policy paper already. Quickly, right? Most likely they haven't left information to contact and engage for businesses. Well, I don't know who's reading these articles, but that perhaps would be important information to have either way. Perhaps I can try to find how I can reach out to you. That's government, right? And they releasing those press releases. Instead of me complaining, let's see perhaps how I can engage with them press releases. If they might be interested, then I can offer some feedback, right? So I can reach out to them, send a letter, and ask them if they can leave some information for businesses, how I can engage in order to receive some of those finances, which I personally believe would be important. But either way, once that is said, 360 million to boost British manufacturing and research and development in Chancellor has today, 4th of March, very recently, announced significant investment in packages, in UK's life science, which might be important. I don't know the way how they're approaching the sector right now. There's some companies who are approaching the sector very well. So there are companies, but not necessarily. Majority of companies disagree with the way how they look into solve this sector. But either way, once that been said, and manufacturing sector, this sector I'm very interested in. So we can review this article and we can reach out to your press release department and leave some feedback. I have left feedback previously, and they have listened. They did, not not this department. Other department have listened, so perhaps we can leave some feedback for this department as well. Quick one, right? I think I find the form to fill in, right? And in the form, I'm highlighting, right? If SMEs, any micro, small, medium enterprises or businesses would like to express their interest, some of those opportunities, it would be great if they are within this article. They would leave necessary information. I was referring as organization X, point of contact X, express of interest X would be great if they would be so kind in doing that. I send this form. Hopefully, they would make some changes to some of those press releases, right? Once that been said, right, let's take a look at this article and some of the finances that government is allocating, right? I don't know, creating these opportunities for other businesses to engage and in solving these problems, right? Competition? Nobody likes it, right? Who likes competition? If we can, let's reduce competition. If we can. But either way, let's take a look at some bullet points within this article. That's what the chancellor to announce significant funding package. Significant. Okay, I like this word, significant. Funding package for research and development and manufacturing projects across the life science, automotive, and all aerospace sectors, right? There's a different department, aerospace invitations only, manufacturing of automotive. I have taken a look at that. Some of those announcements, I haven't seen those. That would be most of those would require 50% of your own capital, right? I have taken a look at those. Life science, I wasn't that interested in those. Perhaps it might be worth taking a look at those. What do you do? Uh, those a handful of organizations can do it. Would be great perhaps to have the information for people who don't know where those organizations are. But either way, 90, perhaps it's not that's not the point. It's only the point what they were looking to achieve within this article. We're just looking to tell people where we spend those finances or tax money. Only that's where we spend it. Who cares, right? 92 million joint government and industry investment tax planned facilities to manufacture life-saving medicines and or diagnostics products, right? I know this facility that because it was mentioned during parliamentary hearing when discussing a budget, that would be, I think it would be within Cambridge area, right? And they were referring to some of those medical vaccines and everything. One of those companies have done it, right? So they're referring to a very particular project that they already agree and already receive finance, which is great. How people can take part? There's, either way, that's what I guess. 200 million joint investment in zero carbon aircraft technology to develop the more sustainable aviation sector, and almost 73 million in automotive aviation. As of now, some of those fuels have been purchased from US. So let's keep things like that. Why we need to develop our own technology. Let's keep purchasing from US. I don't know why we're shifting from purchasing that equipment from Germany. Why we cannot invest in building UK? But either way, that's what guys follow advanced manufacturing plan to give industry a long term certainty to grow and invest in the UK, backed by 4.5 billion to target support announcement on autumn statement. It was British manufacturing sector. Okay, okay. We can review this article quickly, but perhaps this video is going to be too long. We're not discussing anything other where finance was already allocated. So how business can engage. So that's what I would ask. What do you do? Let's go, this is going to be too long. Let's go sit down that perhaps they might improve some of those announcements just because building interest, right? So perhaps more businesses would be looking to engage, and if they would share a point of contact, perhaps that person would not respond to email. So it's different set of problems will begin from there, right? Perhaps. Thanks for watching. See you next one.